What is up, L's and J's? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, I've got another discussion video for you. This time, we're taking a look at the 2021 tin of Ancient Battles. We don't really have much information out on it yet, but the things we do have are these sets that this reprint set is going to be pulling from. And so today we're going to be talking about a bunch of those sets, what would be amazing to see in there, to see imported. And then the only other information is we do know that there are 3 New World Premiere cards, but they haven't talked them up much, so I'm not expecting them to be as good as the Nib Dark Ruler Dimension Shifter that we got like 2 years ago was, but still could be something good there, but we'll obviously find those out much later down the line. So as far as these sets go, we might as well go in order. These are all core sets, which is interesting. A lot of times the Meg-Tins do have like one other side set in there as well, but not this time, at least not spoken of yet. But we might as well start with Ignition Assault. This was the set that came out for us. Hold on, where's the dates? There we go. Way back in January of 2020. So this was the first core set that we got in 2020, which is really cool. There are some cool cards in here, and we might as well just go down the line and talk about everything that like would be nice out of this set. So obviously we start off with the Ad Ignister stuff. Now before, this wouldn't have been as relevant, but because we're getting the new stuff in Lightning Overdrive, and this is like already like a rogue deck in the OCG, this deck can play. It's a legit player competitively, so a lot of people have been looking at these. Picari and Achichi are both secret rares. They're both, I think, over $10 at this point, or at least close to it. So definitely reprints will be nice for that, because this deck will be way more expensive than it ever needed to be for just because of the new support. And the other one is Ignister at AI Land, or Ignister AI Land. Jeez, the name is strange. But this card was really good for the archetype before. Now it's even better. But the best part about it is it's searchable the same way Sanctuary in Salamangrates is searchable. They have a link one that just searches it on summon, so it's very easy to get to, and it puts itself back on the field. So I think you legit only need 1 copy of this now, which is nice, because even though it is skyrocketing in price, you only need 1 copy, I think, maybe 2, but still a reprint would be nice. Otherwise, I think this card was pushing $30 for a little bit. I don't know where it's at now, but I know a reprint would definitely be welcome. Next up, we have the Plunder Patrols. I know we got the whole first wave here, but really the only ones that are holding value are Whitebeard and Redbeard. We have the new card coming in Lightning Overdrive, so there's some hype behind them for that. But they never got a reprint. I think they're both. I think Whitebeard's around like $10 and Redbeard's like 7 or 8 for a while. I don't know if they're still there, but still really cool, and it'd be nice to just bring them down a little bit. This is again a rogue deck at best right now. So it'd be nice to see some of these prices deflate, because these are must-of, like 3-ofs in my opinion. So yeah. Next up is Sky Striker Ace Rose. This is another one that just like is weirdly expensive, although it is Sky Striker. People love the waifu tax. So even though this card's only an ultra rare, it has shot up over time, and there's Starlight Rare as well, but still even the ultra is pretty high up there, so a reprint would be nice, even though this doesn't even usually see play in Striker decks, which is just the funniest part to me, but still cool nonetheless. And the last part of like the mediocre stuff, not mediocre, but like decent reprints to see imported is Gizmek Kaku. This is another one. I mean, this is a card that really, outside of like, I don't know, very specific strategies like Zephyra that were making like calamities before with it, outside of strategies like that, you really don't see this card too much, but it's still a really cool card. I think it's actually a pretty powerful card, especially if we're in a like link-based like metagame. He's actually pretty good at like going second, breaking boards and stuff. So yeah, interesting card, very cool. And the Gizmeks are getting support too, so I'm sure that's making him increase as well. So, and then for the only like bang and reprint, this is really legitimately the only like awesome reprint in this set, I would say. The other ones are really nice, but this one's awesome. It's Lightning Storm. We've seen this be a meta staple, an insanely good side deck staple, or going second OTK kind of strategy staple. It wipes boards. People love that. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! We love board wiping, so Lightning Storm definitely is like the most welcome reprint out of this set. All right, next up we're going to move to Eternity Code. Let's go back here. Eternity Code came out for us in June of last year, early June. So this was when the pandemic hit, so it got kind of like delayed for a little bit, but that's okay. Let's get started with the weaker stuff. Gizmek Uka, again, another Gizmek card. This one's only like $5 or $6, but still it sees no play, and it could really shoot up in price by like one deck becoming good, where like you can do cool things with like the Uka into like barrier statue kind of plays again. So we'll see what happens there, but definitely an interesting card. Very niche, but when it does work, it works insanely well. Next up is Gravedigger's Trap Hole. We're seeing Trap Trick support in Lightning Overdrive, and again, also Gizmek support coming, so that may also make him a little more intriguing. But yeah, Trap Trick support in the next set, as well as Amazements, which can work with Trap Tricks, and we already have Dogmatica, so I think Trap Tricks are kind of going to be, might be a little more relevant come Lightning Overdrive, but yeah, this card's just one of the best trap holes, just is, and it's only in one printing as a secret rare, so yep. Next up is Machina Metal Cruncher. We've seen Earth Machines been getting incredible, you know, tops and stuff, not big event tops usually, but like side event tops, and it does respectably on the on like the rogue in the rogue tier. So this is one of the best normal summons in the deck. Yeah, it's a cool ultra rare. Definitely needs a reprint. Dragon Maid Shao, this is one that actually wasn't that expensive for a while, and now it's shot up as Dragon Maids have shot up, as Dragon Link is the best deck, all that kinds of stuff. And yeah, just Dragon Maid. Dragon Maids just shoot up for no reason. And the last of the like okay reprints is Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. It's a Ghost Girl hand trap. It's a secret rare. It's not even that good. I think it's weaker than Veiler, and Veiler is weaker than Impermanence. So I think it's kind of like a weird one, but maybe there will be niche formats where the fact that it's like wind is really nice. Who knows, right? We'll see. And then we get to the two banging reprints. Chamber Dragon Maid. Now this is very specific to the player. Some players are going to be stoked if this ends up in there, and some players are going to be like, whatever, who cares? It's Dragon Maids. You either play it or you don't. But the people who have been terrified of the waifu tax, if this card can end up in there, it should drop the price a significant chunk, and that would hopefully maybe get more people able to break that barrier of entry and access code. We've seen this card. This is like the Boral Sword. Boral Sword was $60-$70 for so long, and then it finally got the reprint, came down to like 20, and it was so manageable for so many people. I'm hoping that ends up being the case for access code. A lot of people I see, I do deck profiles with access code, and a lot of people are like, is there any way I can run this without access code? Hopefully this will set a lot of those players up to be able to maybe drop just like $20-$30 to get access code instead of double that, right? Hopefully. All right, so that is it for Eternity Code. Some pretty good reprints there. Then we get to like the craziest set, right? Rise of the Duelist. We did not expect this set to be as crazy as it ended up being. This one came out in August of last year for us, so only 2 months after Eternity Code, but still. And yeah, let's get into some of those because there's a bunch of them, right? We have the whole Dogmatica package. Like the whole Dogmatica package just needs reprints. Fallen of Albaz, I know he hasn't seen much play, but we're getting Stigmata and Despia, and Springins can potentially find ways to play him. Tri-Brigade Dogmatica variants, any Dogmatica variant period can already potentially try and find room to play him in a specific like metagame. So we'll see. I think this is a cool card to just have your eye on, and I hope he gets a reprint because his design is awesome. And I think his effect's not even bad. We just need to see the right tools around him to make him work. Fleur-de-Lis, it's usually only a one-off, but it's still like $15 to $20, so definitely needs that reprint. Dogmatica Maximus, this one needs it like the least. This one's only like $6, $7 maybe, and it's a one-of as well if you play it at all. So keep an eye on that, but it is nice to have, and a reprint would be welcome. Titaniclad, again, kind of same vein as Maximus. It's usually a one-of, and it's like, what, $10 to $15, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But again, when the whole archetype is that expensive, even though there are a couple one-ofs and stuff, they really do add up, and especially when it's just one engine, where they're usually being combined with another engine, it just makes a deck like way too expensive for no reason. Next up is Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. I don't know what decks you even play this in, to be honest, but I know it's fairly expensive because it's a secret rare. So yeah, it'd be nice. Durendal, I know that Infernobles are actually more affordable now, but you still have to play 3 Renaud. Usually people are playing at least more than 1 Gearfried. So just on like those fronts, like the deck already gets pretty expensive just from those cards. So it would still be nice to just see a Durendal reprint, even though I think it's less than $10 now. It's a 3 of, so be nice to come down a little bit. And then Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. We've seen this card actually see more play the longer it's been out. People have found better ways to make use of it. So a reprint would be nice, for sure, especially if it ends up just seeing more and more and more play. It could just end up like Warlord Savage Dragon, just being teched into so many different decks. But we'll obviously see. Hopefully it gets a reprint here. Then we get to the amazing stuff, and there are a ton of amazing reprints in this set. Nadir Servant, first and foremost, this is the biggest card I think in the set because Dogmatica is arguably the most splashable archetype in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But people can't do it because it's Nadir Servant's like 70 bucks on its own, and you gotta play 3 most of the time. So like, oof, big oof, right? Ecclesia, if you're playing a legit Dogmatica deck, is 3 of, and she's like 30 bucks. So 90 bucks on top of 210 just for your 2 search cards. And then you still have all those 1-ofs that are like 20 bucks a piece. So such an insanely expensive archetype. I really hope at least Ecclesia and Nadir Servant are in here. If the other ones don't get reprinted, that's okay because they're mostly 1-ofs. But Servant and Ecclesia have to be. If they are not reprinted soon, like, I'm gonna go crazy. Shadal Schism. This is another one. This card sat around like $5 on release and then was at 10 bucks for a little bit. And now it's like 30. It was like 30 to 40 bucks. How high did it go? It went so crazy high. This is a card that is usually a 1-off, but still Shadals are so budget everywhere else that like we just get one new card. And now the deck's like arguably not budget just because of this card and what you have to splash with it. Tough. I would like to see a reprint of this. That would be very, very welcome. Forbidden Droplet. Then for the generic cards, you have Forbidden Droplet. Well, these are, well, no, they're archetypal. So generic cards, Forbidden Droplet. This is an insane side deck card. It's kind of just like Dark Ruler, but more versatile. So I'd love to see this card get a reprint so more people have access to it. I see a lot of people just playing Dark Ruler just because it's the budget version of Droplet, and that's kind of lame. Triple Tax is another card, really, really good, but not a lot of people have access to it, especially budget players. So this would be another one, just a great generic card. It has so many powerful effects, and there are definitely formats where this card is really, really strong. And the last card here is Ice Dragon's Prison. This is another ultra rare we did not expect to be 40 bucks, but it's, god damn it, it's 40 plus bucks. It's crazy. And if you're going to get it, you might as well get 3 of it. This card is insanely strong. I really hope it gets a reprint because there are a lot of trap decks out there I've been wanting to play using this card, and I haven't been able to because this card is just so above and beyond the price point I'm willing to pay for like one solid trap. It's ridiculous. So definitely want to see a bunch of reprints there. There's so many good reprints in Rise of the Duelists. I hope this is mostly Rise of the Duelists reprints for this entire Meg-Tins period, but we'll obviously see. All right, then we go to the last set, which is Phantom Rage. This came out in November of 2020. So all of our 2020 sets just ending up in here. That's kind of cool. Maybe that'll just be the formula going forward. Just all the 2020 sets are just live, or like the year prior. All those sets are just live for the next Meg-Tins. All right, let's get into it. Starting off with Torn Scales. This is a card with a decent price point. Phantom Knights are pretty popular, but they should be budget, but they're not just because of this card pretty much. Or at least not fully budget, right? This is like kind of good, or kind of just crazy expensive being a secret. So yeah, you also have Arc Rebellion XZ Dragon. This card's not nearly as bad. It's a 1-of. It's only like what, $5-10 bucks, but still $5-10 bucks is a nice to reprint. Then for Virtual World stuff, we have obviously Lulu. She is like the best engine card in the deck, but she's a little bit up there. I know when Virtual Worlds were meta, she was like over 15 bucks, I think between 15 and 20. I'm not exactly sure where she is now, but I still think she's high enough where she probably should see a reprint. And Shen, you could throw Shen in there, kind of the same vein as Arc Rebellion. It's a 1-of, maybe a 2-of, $5 to 10 bucks. I think it's still in that range, but it is completely generic. So if anything came out good in the metagame that plays Synchro 9s, this card would immediately shoot up. So, you know, I'd rather have a reprint sooner than later. Then for Tri-Brigade stuff, we have Farragut, the Baron Blossom. This card, again, I think is like, it might have eclipsed 10 bucks. I think it has been going up because it's been seeing been seeing play as a tech in other strategies outside of Tri-Brigades. And Tri-Brigades are still pretty good and popular right now. So still a really cool card, really nice for just those Tri-Beast type decks. And also Shiraig, the Ominous Omen, especially with on the potential horizon, more pure Tri-Brigade lists coming into fruition and being more relevant. We could see this card go up just because more people are going to want to play 2 or even 3 Charade mints, and before they were contemplating just playing 1. So playing 2 to 3, obviously the demand goes higher because every player needs one more copy theoretically, and yeah, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on, and just the deck may be more popular, period. So keep an eye on him. Secret Rare probably needs a reprint as well. And then for the 2 bangers, obviously Alpha the Master of Beast. This card's actually dropped fairly recently because it just hasn't been seeing a ton of play, but I still think we're going to see formats where this card's like insanely strong. So I would definitely either hold on to my copies, pick them up, or just hope for a reprint here because I think this card is definitely a cool one to see. And then Zeus. This is a huge one, I think. I think this one goes right alongside of like Access Code. Any deck that plays Exceeds, you want to play a copy of Zeus because you never know when you could just turn like a regular basic Exceed monster into something like Zeus. This card makes Zodiac viable competitively, in which like without this card, Zodiac just has no power behind it. It's consistent. It does what it does, but it's not powerful. But you get the power from Zeus. So, and there are even, and strategies like Tri Brigade actually want to play 2 to even 3 Zeus sometimes. So, yikes, right? When this card is like over $50 and you want to play 2 to 3 of it in your extra deck, crazy. So I would love to see this card get reprinted just so the people who want to play those decks but haven't been able to get a hold of Zeus because it's just too expensive for them, hopefully it comes down there. But I don't know. That's pretty much it. Those are all of the sets that are viable for the Meg-Tins. Again, we'll see what happens with the world premieres. Hopefully, a lot of these banging reprints end up in there. They usually do. They usually do a pretty good job at throwing most of the most necessary cards into the Meg-Tins. We'll obviously need to keep an eye on it. Sorry this video ran a little bit longer than I intended to, but I really wanted to get around to like every card I thought was interesting here. There may be a couple that I missed here and there that are a couple bucks that might be nice reprints, but there's a ton of those in there, and this video would have been 30 to 40 minutes long if I really wanted to go that in depth with it. But of course, let me know in the comment section down below, what out of these cards do you want to see reprinted the most? For me, it's probably the Dogmatica stuff. I've had multiple decks that I thought were like really cool, but like you kind of need to throw the Dogmatica engine in there, and I'm not like, it's in cool ways, not even in like, oh my deck sucks, I'm just gonna throw Dogmatica in it to make it better. There are really cool decks, like I've done like Lair of Darkness, like my most recent Lair of Darkness build was playing the Dogmatica Punishment. Well, if you just want to tech in 1 Ecclesia, that means you have the possibility of like sending Titaniclad to pop a card and then getting Ecclesia. So you get like follow-up while disrupting them, but you don't have to commit to an entire Dogmatica engine. So it's like, you know what I mean? Cool, splashable like ways to use it. So that for me is what I'm most excited for, hopefully to be more affordable. But obviously we will see. So that's gonna do it from here today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like I said, let me know in the comment section down below, what out of these reprints do you want to see the most in the 2021 Meg-Tins? Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you guys think, but that's gonna do it. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.